HMS surrender. Tired of living in this war. Need a chance to run away from my shame. Come back another day. You can put up with my pain. Be sacred, storm away. Hide myself forever, but the HMS surrender. Tired of living in this war. Need a chance to run away from my shame. Come back another day. You can put up with my pain. Be sacred, storm away. Hide myself forever, but the HMS surrender.
Right on. Gallow Wood with HMS Surrender. And man, catchy tune, and these guys have the potential to go far, and it's really nice when you hear like literally kids that young cranking out this awesome music and saying like, man, like why weren't we doing that at our age? Like why weren't we that good, you know?
I can only dream of being as good as that. I think he's. I can't remember. I think it was when it came out. I remember seeing like a promo video for it, and I think it said from the bedroom of a 17-year-old kid. So I'm guessing Talon Payne, who's the sort of main guy, or said he was a couple of months ago when it came out at 17, which is phenomenal. 17's it's so accomplished, and for me, I mean, it's kind of like if Gary Newman started covering Placebo. Do you know what I mean? It's a kind of a real Placebo kind of, almost kind of punk emo kind of sound, but with a little bit of an industrial vibe going on. I think it's an absolutely quality track, and I absolutely love the album, or the EP, I think it was, that came out. But proper quality, and like you say, it's mad that people that are that young can do that many amazing things. Whereas I was, what would I have been doing at 17? I was learning how to play "Time of Your Life" by Green Day. I was in a band, actually. I'd been in a band for a couple of years, and we had a few gigs and wrote a few of our own songs, but I was trying to master that about 17.
Holy crap, man. At 17, I was learning the Smashing Pumpkins album, the Infinite Sadness and Melancholy.
Nice.
That was like 96 when I was getting into that, because I was double CD, right? But like I meant wow. And I just think of it because, I mean, at the time, tab books were really big, and like I haven't bought one in a long time. But I learned Super Unknown, Soundgarden. I learned Inema through tools on Inema through tab too. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, I only took one music class ever, and I kind of learned how to read notes, but still not completely comfortable with it. And it's the same thing with piano, because I took piano lessons for like 4 months, but guitar I kind of just picked up and just learned off a friend, that sort of thing, and never really had a formal lesson. But it was fun that way because that way I developed like a good ear for tone, So I don't really need a tuner to tune my guitar, a regular tuner down to my E to a D sort of thing. Yeah. But it's fun. I haven't done it in a long time because both my instruments are in need of repair. My acoustic needs to be repaired, and I posted probably about 4 or 5 months ago my Marshall amp, which I stand by Marshall 100%. That Marshall was 20 years old and finally died.
Yeah, it was really sad. That.
Yeah. It was like goodbye old. I was like goodbye old friend.
That's right. Yeah.
But
yeah, it is mad. I mean, I was the same way. I love those tab books, actually. Now I just like stuff up online when I'm drunk. But I used to buy. I mean, I learned like almost every Nirvana song ever written by all those tab books. Well, and I can still bang out like Lounge Act without really sort of thinking about it and stuff like that. You just sort of
with the Nirvana tunes, a lot of them, like honestly, a lot of it I picked up by ear because I actually got a really good ear for it. And I know I'm kind of tuning my own horn here, but I can pick up a lot of stuff by ear a lot easier than I can read the tab for the music, and that's what I learned a lot of Nirvana tunes, because I mean, About a Girl was just easy with just a G kind of back and forth, right, sort of thing. And even the solo was like kind of like whatever, man. This is like one of the most simplistic things ever. But and then even another specific tune like Aneurysm on Incesticide, another really fun song to play, right? And just it's almost like a joke song sort of thing. I mean, I'm not sure they wrote it that way, but it's just the way it kind of sounds to me. But it's a joke song, but it's still fun to play. It's almost like a jam tune, kind of like a warm up tune sort of thing.
Yeah, you can imagine them literally sort of like doing that as, you know, sound check or whatever, and then turning it into a song, can't you? It's got that kind of, the way it goes up the neck on that stuff, it has that kind of feeling where it's kind of like they're probably just kind of doing that, and then someone went, oh, I reckon that's, you know, we can actually put some structure in that and turn it into a song, and it's kind of, I love it when stuff like that.
Well, right, exactly. Simplistic, but you know, effective at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, Kurt Cobain was an absolute genius, and Nirvana were, you know, my humble opinion, you know, my two favourite bands ever were Led Zeppelin and Nirvana, and that will probably never change, but for two completely different reasons. But I just think he was an absolute genius. Like stuff like that, where it is, a lot of the stuff is quite simple, but it's so powerful. I just think it's.
Actually, you know what? Speaking of Led Zeppelin, on Houses of the Holy, the song, The Crunch.
Oh, mate!
Right,
what a tune!
One of my favorite tunes ever. But you know, have you seen the bridge? I ain't seen the bridge. Where's that bloody confounded bridge, right? And a while ago, I made a comment about it on Facebook, and a friend of mine, she used to work at West at the airport, and she moved to Toronto. This is about probably at least 8 years ago. So, you know, I still talk to her on Facebook now, and so I put this randomly, like, have you seen the bridge? And I get a quote back, where's that confounded bridge? Like, are you kidding? She goes, oh, come on, because I know the Crunch. Like, really? I wouldn't have had any idea that you're a Led Zeppelin fan at all.
There you go. Everyone is. My son actually, William, just to give everyone an update, because I know I'm always talking about the fact he keeps asking me to put the flam on in the car.
Right.
Recently he started going, Daddy, let's have Led Zeppelin 4. And then, you know, the next time it'll be, let's have Led Zeppelin 2. I'm like, oh yes, because he likes Led Zeppelin, and I was like, well, you know, 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can kind of pick. That's probably the easiest ones to remember the name of, kind of thing.
All right, eh?
Yeah, he does that. So I'm now on to teaching him all about Houses of the Holy and
physical graffiti and coda. And
physical graffiti, yeah. Especially that first disc of physical graffiti, because that's just like legendary.
Song remains the same. Like, oh yeah.
In My Time of Dying, in particular, it's just like, oh, come on. So good. Some
really, really good tunes, and you know, I mean, I was thinking about that the other day, just because, I mean, on Friday morning, usually on Thursdays and Friday mornings when we do overnights, usually about 4:00, we switch to music. You know, we put the laptop or whatever away because people start coming through, so we put music on. So we'll put like a shuffle play. So Cecile's got Spotify, so she'll play like a 50s, 60s, 70s mix on, and this we go back and forth. So it's all agreed upon sort of thing. And this week was my turn, right? So I put a whole mix. So I put a mix of Sabbath and Pink Floyd and Rolling Stones and Zeppelin. So we had a lot of good stuff going on. So there's some good covers in there as well. And of course the Doors as well, because we were just talking about that off air. And so songs like Morrison Hotel, Waiting for the Sun, that sort of thing. And we were talking about that because we were talking about Ed Sullivan. And Ed Sullivan had the variety show like years ago. But what we were talking about the Doors movie, because in the Doors movie, when Doors played the Ed Sullivan show, they played Light My Fire, and they say, well, you can't say higher on network television because of the censor at the time. They're like, okay, fine, we won't do it, blah, blah. So, of course, Morrison says it anyways, right? But in the movie, he goes right up to the sound booth and says higher, and that never, ever, ever happened. The original happened. What happened is Ray Manzarek, the keeper, was telling the story. He says, well, because the guy came back, he said, okay, you know what, promise we won't do it. We'll change it, no problem. And say, girl, we couldn't get much better, right? So they all look at each other. They're like, man, we've done it this way like 100 times. We're not going to change it. It's like, okay, fine. So they agreed upon it. And so they go on stage, they play the song, and Morrison sings higher, just like normal. Nothing. The only thing you see is Robbie Krieger and Ray Manzarek smirking because it was funny. That was it. And then, he's
that film has a lot of creative license.
Well, that's right.
Film, actually, but, yeah.
So he's narrating the story, and then they go back to him again. It says, it goes after the show. It goes, the guy came back and said, I thought I told you guys couldn't say higher network television. He goes, you were booked for 6 more shows. You'll never play the Ed Sullivan Show again. And Morrison just looked up and said, hey man, we just played the Ed Sullivan Show. It's like, it's like there's a good kick to the proverbial nutsack, right? So.
Love it.
But yeah, so there's a little sidetrack again. Sorry about that. But
don't apologise to me.
Well,
mate. I probably ought to play great tune.
Well, at least this time it was music influence, right? Or compared to music. So our next artist up is one of our favorites, and so talented. And like I said, this album just blew me away from the very start. This is, of course, ill-advised with a song called Jack the Ripper from his album Masochist. And if you haven't heard it yet, do yourself a favor and pick up the album, because this is just like there's not enough good words in the dictionary to explain how good this album is and how much dedication and time he put into this. Because Harry, even though we've interviewed him a bunch of times, he really is a really good guy, but a very, very beyond dedicated musician, and it shows in his music. So here we go with Jack the Ripper by Ill Advised. Dig this.
So tired, mouth slack and wide, housed and advised. Your face is as mean as your life has been. Crash into my arms. I want you. You don't agree, but you don't refuse. I know you.